that he had already been saved. And we get to this point, and he realizes that, and maybe I'd merged that lesson and baptism together. And he realized that he hadn't been saved. And you had this burly man, okay? And his eyes start to water. And of course, I'm a goofball, and when I start to feel awkward, I laugh. Okay. But I was like, Alex, hold together. I mean, God is working through him. God is working through him. Keep it together, Alex, And, he realizes, and his eyes, I mean, he got red and his eyes were getting moist. And I mean, you could see those wheels turning. And he said, I'm not saved. And here you have a guy who has been in an environment where if you're not the alpha dog, you're going to get made fun of, you're going to get picked on and stuff like that. And so given that prison environment, he admitted not only, hey, I have not been saved like I thought I'd been saved, but this almost fear of, so the last 30 plus years of my life have been a lie, or, what has been taught to me is now, at least what the Bible says is, has been wrong, those prior teachings. And, it's just one of those moments where he realized that he was about this big. And he realized that God is so much bigger. And he knew that his sin was great, but God's love was greater. And so, that was a beautiful moment too. And it was a very emotional moment because he admitted and that he had sin. And soon after that, we studied a little bit more over the next couple of weeks. And I believe it was, I can't remember what month, but soon after that, he was baptized for the remission of his sins. And here I am, this 5'7" guy, baptizing this guy who's bigger, much bigger than me. And it was beautiful. And when we were walking down off the, getting out of the baptistry, and while people were, leading, singing and stuff like that, I said, I want you to think about everything that you've seen, everything that you've done, every sin that you've committed. You're perfect right now in the eyes of God. And we're standing there dripping. And I said, I want you to take a moment and to not rush putting on your clothes. People out there who want to pat you on the back, they can wait. Okay, I want you to take this moment, and after 30-something years of your existence, you are now perfect. You have now been made righteous in the eyes of God. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
That's awesome,
no doubt that God was at work, and the word is powerful when it comes upon the right kind of soil. So
that's right, man.
Encouraging.
That's awesome. Good stories, man. And I like the just to recap some of the things you talked about. Spiritual's better than physical, like you talked about. Where there's like a tree and a seed, and that reminded me of Jesus' teaching, where if you plant the seed, some of the roots don't go that deep, and the persecution knocks it over, or right. As it's growing, it gets choked out by the physical, the desires of the world instead of the spiritual. So yeah, plant the seed. And then I just love the fact that you need to be passionate about Jesus and the Great Commission, right?
Right.
The difference between being excited about motocross and being and sharing all that and excited about Jesus is some people probably won't beat you up for talking about motocross, but they'll definitely be angry about you because it's a spiritual thing, right? So the reality of it is a spiritual battle, but the greater the battle, the greater the victory, right?
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, look at that one. That guy, if you'd have saw him, you'd be like, there's no way he's gonna turn around. He's too far gone. And God's right. Like, no, he's not too far gone. No one's too far gone.
Exactly.
So we got another story for us.
It's actually not a finished story.
Oh, good.
Yet.
I like it. Let's do it.
So I also love basketball. And so I play basketball a lot. I'm not particularly good at it, but I enjoy it. And I've been, so there are some courts public courts that I play on. And so over the last couple of years, I've made some friends, and they are actually really good basketball players. But they call me sometimes. Oh yeah, preacher man's here, because hey, I go to East Main, love to have you. So they know that I'm a minister, and so a lot of times that environment, there's a lot of cursing and just, the worldly atmosphere. You can't expect the world to act like Christians, and so there's a lot of that. And so, but over time, I will say, hey, if you don't mind, just out of respect for me and our God, let's not say those things if we miss a layup, or if our shot doesn't fall through the hoop, and so there's at least one kid that I've been waiting for an opportunity where I can pull him aside to see if he'd be willing to study, just because he's a good kid, and he's also one of those people that if he could become a child of God, he's a natural influencer. And he'd be one of those great magnets that once he's equipped, he could do so much good for the kingdom. And so, we play, but a lot of times when we play, there's a whole lot of other people. And so I don't want to say, hey man, you want to have a Bible study? And him feel embarrassed or awkward and shut it down. So I've been waiting for a time where he and I can be alone. But as the listeners, and of course, if y'all could pray for that individual and for me, because I have high hopes and high expectations for myself. But like I said, he's one of these people where if he can commit and submit to God, then no telling what good he's going to do for the kingdom.
Yeah. And those are awesome. Those are stories. It's neat to see God work in that moment. When he opens up that opportunity, it'll be you'll see it. Just take it. Get in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like that. Some things we talk about on the show are like, if you are in that circumstance where you have somebody at work or you're playing a game with or something, that you can always pray for them in that moment. So, like always praying. Like, you might not have the courage to speak it. You might not have the opportunity to say, hey, you want to do a Bible study? Like you said, might not even be appropriate in front of everybody, but you can definitely pray and know that God is going to work in that. So that's good stuff. Well, let's get everybody a call to action then. Alex, is it important to share the good news? What do you think?
No. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is so important. Actually, the difference between sharing the good news, sharing your faith or not, is someone's eternal destination. It's serious as that. The gospel is beautiful and it's necessary and it's command, but it also has a lot of weight to it as well. So no doubt it is needed and important.
And it has life, right?
Right.
It's like we have this, people are dying in the streets, and we have this free life that we can give them, and they'll have a real life here and beyond. And if we hold that in, we had talked about it, get them out of the seats and into the streets, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Like, it's crazy, man. Like, if people are dying right now, like if your church,
You've been listening to Be Brave. The world right now is a crazy place, and sharing the love of God is the most important thing we can do right now. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit up gobebrave.org. Remember, the love of God is the most powerful force in the universe. Learn how to love like Jesus. See you next time.